everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Today I'm in Seattle, Washington because Ford has invited me to drive the latest 2024 Mustang Mach E. Now, you're probably wondering, well, yeah, it looks very similar to the previous model year, so what's different? We're gonna get into that and talk about all the changes and the new variants that they have coming. So buckle up because I think it might get a little muddy.
Awesome. That felt better.
That was so fun.
I'm
Good.
sure you haven't done anything like this before. We're
No.
gonna do one more. Before we get to what's new, I should probably recap my experience with the Ford Mustang Mach E so far. In early 2020, I produced a detailed review of this grabber blue Mach E on the streets of Detroit and rural Michigan. Later that year, my friend Ryan at the Kilowatts and I competed in a 10-day coast-to-coast EV rally which aired on national television. His Mach E led us to victory and a $10,000 grand prize. Throughout 2022, I drove thousands of autocross laps in the Mach E as a part of my competitive comparison education with thousands of salespeople and automaker employees touring racetracks and other facilities throughout the US. At the Detroit Auto Show in 2023, the Mach E program's chief engineer shared details on the upcoming rally edition. 6 weeks after that, I was out in California to witness the first public competition for the rally edition at the Rebel Rally. All of those videos are linked in the description if you want to dig in. Now, let's get back to 2024. Firstly, Ford leadership talked about their position and progress with EVs.
So one thing that's been great as we've launched the Mustang Mach E is bringing new people, not just to the Mustang brand, but more importantly, the Ford shows. So about 50% of all people since we launched Mustang Mach E in 2020 are people who are new to the Ford showroom. So March was our best month ever for Mustang Mach E sales. We sold over 5,300 Mustang Mach Es in March, and we continue that momentum into April. Some people think of April 1st as being April Fool's, but for us, it was actually our best sales day ever. We sold 1,000 Mustang Mach Es the first day of April. So extremely excited about that. Last year, EVs were 5% of our total sales, which is up from 2% in 2022. So we're really starting to see some amazing momentum and energy around EVs.
Next, they went into great detail explaining the improvements made for the 2024 model. They explained a number of design improvements geared towards reducing parts counts in an effort to reduce costs and pass the savings on to the customer. The frunk, for example, shed dozens of individual components. There used to be 2 headlight options, and now there's one option with more cost-effective construction. Previous Mach Es have been propelled by motors built by other companies. For 2024, they've replaced the BorgWarner-supplied rear motor with an in-house electric motor. The new motor is more efficient with more torque, all at lower cost. One result is a 10 to 20 mile range gain on all 2024 Mustang Mach Es. Another result is that the Mach E GT Performance and Rally are now the quickest vehicles in their segment, with 0 to 60 times of 3.3 seconds. Stock, they can deliver an 11.8 second quarter mile at 114 miles per hour. The simplification and vertical integration improvements helped to enable a price drop of up to $8,100 earlier in 2024, as we reported on our 10-minute weekly EV news show called The Current. Other changes to the model include a 20% improvement in DC fast charging from 10 to 80%, access to more than 15,000 Tesla superchargers in addition to public CCS networks, and updated Sync 4A in-car telematics with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility. Ford Blue Cruise highway driving assistance technology is now available on all trim levels, and I had the opportunity to check out the latest version when the presentation had concluded. The system keeps drivers in the lane and it maintains a safe distance from other vehicles. It does this job about as well as the Nissan Ariya, GM Super Cruise, and similar systems from Mercedes and BMW, apart from one key area. The Mach E does not clearly communicate what the vehicle can and cannot see. Most other brands feature a depiction of the vehicle surroundings with environmental elements, including vehicles and pedestrians. I rely on those visualizations to audit the vehicle to determine when I should intervene. Without that information, my confidence is low and the value of the feature is reduced. While on the drive, I did appreciate the variability offered by the MagneRide magneto-rheological suspension damping system, which has been extended to all GT and Rally editions of the Mustang Mach E. It can dial compliance and comfort up or down at the touch of a button. I think most daily drivers will appreciate that. There were no changes to the interior when it comes to size or features, other than appliques and the sport seats offered in the GT in the Rally edition. This is a brand new color for the Mustang Mach E this year called Eruption Green. The bronze wheels are also available and add plenty of flair to the exterior. The quicker acceleration is marginally noticeable from the previous model year of the GT Performance. Even slight improvements are great to see. The vehicle is fun to drive and capable of reasonable comfort. Our second drive was in the Mustang Mach E's premium model. We headed to a Tesla supercharger to test out the new adapter, which allows Ford drivers to charge at version 3 and above supercharger dispensers nationwide. The hardware was heavier than I expected and felt high quality. Charging initiated quickly. More reliable public fast charging is a major advantage for Ford EV drivers. Other automakers are in line, but at the time of publishing, only the customers of Ford and Rivian can enjoy the Tesla network alongside Tesla owners. In previous Ford EV reviews, I've voiced my dissatisfaction with the amount of charging data on the screen during sessions. I didn't notice any improvement on the instrument cluster. I hope Ford can push that in a future software update to reduce reliance on dispensers or phone apps. After spending the day driving the premium and GT Performance Mustang Mach E, it was time to call it a day and rest up for a trip to the storied Dirtfish Rally School the next morning. When we arrived at Dirtfish, I had expected to see some logos of another automaker famous for rally, which normally sponsors the venue. I think you know the one. It starts with Suba who? I couldn't quite recall because the facility's owner overwhelmed us with his collection of iconic Ford rally vehicles, including a Mercury Lynx, Ford Escort, and Ford RS200 Evo on display. The Ford team took the opportunity to identify how the Mach E Rally Edition differed from the GT Performance upon which it's based. First up, literally, the Rally Edition has an inch more ground clearance. Its upgraded splitter improves approach angle and adds underbody shielding. A rally-tuned version of the MagneRide suspension and a rally drive mode are designed to maximize off-road performance. I briefly spoke with Ford's supervisor of vehicle dynamics, Heather Lee Fadulo. Here's what she had to say about these two elements of the Rally Edition.
So the GT Performance Edition does have MagneRide. We've had that since that product came out. But when we decided to do the Rally product, we knew that that technology was going to be really critical to be able to deliver both a very comfortable on-road ride for a customer. So if you're in one of the engage modes or even the unbridled mode in the Rally version, you're going to love to drive that car every day on the road, run your errands, etc. And then when you want to do some off-pavement kind of driving, we've got our Rally mode that essentially offers a lot more control, a lot more damping. So it may not be the most comfortable thing to drive every day, but that's exactly what the MagneRide technology gets us. Essentially on Rally on a loose surface, the feedback between the tire contact and the driver is very different. The traction level that you have is very different. So we did have to lighten that steering feel effort quite a bit in Rally to replicate a performance kind of steering environment. So yeah, if you're going to drive that on the road where you have a lot more traction, you're going to get a lot more force and energy transfer between the tire patch and the driver.
After the Ford team shared their insights, the chief instructor at Dirtfish laid out the course and shared what we could expect from the day's events. But I wanted to learn more about the facility before I sprayed mud all over it.
We're a full-time rally school, so we do rally driving year-round, 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year. If you can make it here, we're running class. We have all-wheel drive programs and rear-wheel drive programs. We're partnered with Subaru. So we do anything from a half-day program, short little taster, to a 1-day to a 3-day, and those are our main bread and butter programs that we have. And then we also do one-on-one tuition and more advanced programs and stuff after that. We've had EVs here. We hold events where people can bring their own cars and compete at lower speeds, and EVs do quite well, surprisingly well. And so it's neat to see more strength and more development with that genre, and to now see a car specifically designed for that is pretty fascinating. The old curmudgeon can say, hey, what is this thing that's showing up? And but the reality is, this is the forefront of automotive technology right now, and what I find very fascinating is the tunability of the way the car handles, or the way the power can be delivered or taken away, for that matter. And that I think is a huge benefit to electrification and multiple motors.
If you're into rally, I think this is the place you want to go. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us,
Absolutely.
Nate. We appreciate it, and hopefully I get to come back and sling some more EVs around.
Yeah, well, come check us out, dirtfish.com.
There you go.
The time has come to suit up and head to the course. If you ask me, the weather was perfect. We went out for a few practice runs on the small course first to get comfortable with the vehicle's performance and dynamics in the mud. Our instructors were impressively clear and helpful as they assessed and improved my ability to slide and drift. After a few laps there, we headed over to the Boneyard, a longer and more challenging course. This gave us the opportunity to further test the limits and control of the Mach E Rally Edition. I could tell the rally mode was letting the tail kick out more and provided a tighter suspension calibration and steering feel. The balance of disobedience and control was perfectly suited for the Mustang name, even though we were in an environment where no production Mustang dared go before. The sports seats hugged me in place well and struck a great balance with comfort. After some laps around the Boneyard, it was time to see how a professional gets it done. I was the passenger of none other than the 2023 British Rally Champion and Red Bull athlete, Adrian Fourmeau.
And action!
Yes. Hi.
You need to try again. You need to get the full experience.
Okay, good. Round 2. Ding, ding, ding. I get an extra special lap.
Yeah, now you're going. Alright?
Now, that was a blast. There is no doubt that the 2024 Mustang Mach E is another step up for the model. I'd still like to see a heat pump for improved winter efficiency. As I said in my first review a few years ago, I think an active lifestyle SUV should have a tow hitch receiver which can support an e-bike carrier, and the Mach E doesn't have a hitch receiver yet. I would also prefer to have seen the Google-based infotainment which debuted in the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. I have a hunch 2024 will be a good year for the Mustang Mach E.
Well, thank you so much for watching this latest video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 2024 Mustang Mach E, so put them in the comments below. Well, until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.